Hi, I'm Shannon Hemmings, and I want to welcome you to CounterShift. CounterShift was created to help you develop a solid foundation of education and skills in the hospitality industry. At CounterShift, we believe that there are two core elements to learning a system. They are simplicity and consistency. We won't overwhelm you with information, but instead give you the tools and insight to build a system for learning that you can use to expand your education and skill set. We are very excited to get started, and most importantly, thank you for investing in your own education and success. Welcome to CounterShift Beverage. I'm Shannon Hemmings, and today I'm going to take you back to the origins of beer, wine, and spirits. At CounterShift, learning always starts with the basics, and to truly learn, we have to understand the building blocks of the system. Over the next 40 to 50 minutes, you will gain the tools necessary to understand all types of beer, wine, and spirits at their base. Understanding these beverages starts with learning what they're made of and how they are produced. Let's get started. The first building block is alcohol, and the first step is finding out how it's created. Alcohol is created by fermentation. For our purposes today, fermentation requires three things: sugar, liquid, and yeast. Take a look. Basically, yeast eats sugar and gives off alcohol and bubbles. The amazing thing is, fermentation just happens. As long as you have a liquid with sugar and yeast, fermentation will get started on its own. Here is a quick review of what we've learned so far. Alcohol is a byproduct of fermentation. We need sugar, yeast, and a liquid, think water or juice, and fermentation will happen. Now I will show you how we get the sugar for fermentation in beer. Traditionally, beer is made from only 4 ingredients: barley or malt, water, yeast, and hops. The sugar comes from the barley, and with water and yeast, fermentation can get started. We can think of hops as seasoning. They add flavor, aromatics, and help to naturally preserve the beer. It sounds simple, but let's learn the system. The process to transform these ingredients into beer is as follows: malting, milling, mashing, boiling, and fermenting. Let's break it down. As I said before, we get the sugar from our barley, but making beer starts with a process called malting. Malting is the process of toasting the barley with hot air. The longer we toast the barley, the darker it gets. This gives the final beer both color and flavor profile. Lightly toasted barley produces light beers, and dark toasted barley produces darker, fuller beers. Think of the difference between burnt toast and light toast, or a pale ale and a stout. Many different grains other than barley can be used, and each offers a distinct flavor and structural component to the final brew. We are going to focus on barley, but here are some other grains that can be used. The malted barley now has sugar inside, but we need to make it available for the yeast. That is where milling comes into play. Milling is simply cracking or crushing or grinding malted grain so the sugars inside are more readily available. This brings us to the next step, which is mashing. We really aren't mashing anything. Instead, we are creating a mash. Mashing is steeping the malted barley in hot but not boiling water, sort of like tea. This releases the sugars and starches from the malted barley into the water. The sugar-rich water is drained from the mash, and this liquid we have created is the wort. It's spelt W-O-R-T, but it's pronounced wort. Wort is basically unmade beer, just like crushed grapes are unmade wine. They just need to be fermented. Let's review what we've learned so far.